Cherish. The monks of Cuthbert the Thrice Martyred have gathered to crush the feeble keeper Malleus. Whilst being a comparative weakling, Malleus is cunning beyond his years, and has allied himself with a legion of the undead who will fight for him because of the benefits that the portal gem will give to them. He hopes to turn the entire chapter into vampires, and if he was successful, he would prove to be a powerful adversary. His plans must be halted. Behold the monastery of Cuthbert the Thrice Martyred. See the pious monks perform their holy customs. Oh, so peaceful scenes. But somewhere, lurking in the shadows, hides the rival keeper Malleus, poising, ready to attack. He'll slay the monks and turn them into vampires. Then he'll turn on you. But it's in your power to prevent this carnage. Not that carnage is all bad. Yet in this case, such prevention may be worth the prize, the portal gem, which Malleus holds with undeserved pride. Freeze trap.
Once again, this here is Uncle Troy, and we are playing Dungeon Keeper 2, the single-player campaign. Mission number 13, Conversion in the Land of Cherish. And I played this, this is one of my favorite levels, I guess I should say. I played this particular one over and over and over again. Early on, it was one of the levels that I could not beat the first time through and had to try several times. So I developed my own little method of doing so. Part of it is to go out and get this gold up here to the north, as opposed to getting the gold to the east. There is some gold very easily obtainable to the east, but doing that opens up your caught a flash of it there. Doing so opens you up to hero attack, that's much harder to defend against.
There is a secret known to monks which tells of vampires slain, whose method of destruction will deny them chance of life again. This knowledge is employed by them to overcome these fiends outright, and banish them forever from the land of living to eternal night.
Okay, I hope you noticed there that though the vampire was not a level 1 vampire, being beaten by those monks caused it to disappear into a flurry of bats. So we really need monks if we're going to be taking on vampires. Of course, what you can do is simply keep defeating the vampires over and over and over again, which is my preferred method actually. It was just more fun to watch them die and die and die. Okay, we start off this land once again with no portal, but we do have a few goblins, which, though not very tough, can take out the first few monks and assorted other heroes we run into.
Ah, I see you have discovered a magical item.
Actually, I take that back. We do have a portal over there. Of course, it's protected by monks, and it's behind a locked door. So our imps can't just walk over there and claim it. But I don't like picking up that portal because the various creatures it attracts, the evil ones, don't get along with my converted heroes. So it's just easier to live just on converted heroes rather than try to combine them with your evil forces. This first battle here against the assorted Forces of Good is a tough one, especially if you can't drop your goblins at the right place. But the Guard is pretty tough. The Monk's pretty tough. The Giant is pretty tough. Even that little dwarf down there is kicking the butt of one of my goblins one-on-one. While wizards aren't very tough when they're standing back protected by others, they can pretty much take you out pretty quick. And I really should pay more attention to my mana and the health of my creatures. I did pick up a special, which I'll probably end up using here in a second.
It is payday. Your creatures have been blessed with experience.
And by boosting the level of my goblins, I give them just a little bit more of an edge here. So the goblins can take on a wizard pretty easily. But the guards are tough, the giants are tough, and even the monks are pretty tough once they get up to a certain level. But now that I've finally managed to stop this hero invasion here, I have plenty of heroes to convert, and that'll help build my forces.
You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber.
Okay, we now have a monk. He will be useful later. Here's that gold I was talking about earlier. You can grab it from this side.
You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have taken over an enemy bridge.
You can grab it from the outside without letting the heroes in. It looks like my imps have discovered a hero patrol, but luckily the few heroes I've converted already should be able to take them out with no problem. I hope.
A new spell has been researched. The Turncoat spell. A nasty shock for creatures when it's cast on them. A momentary delusion which persuades its victims that its friends are now its foes.
I've just never had much luck with this particular spell. It always seems that whichever creature I cast it on is the one that, he's the doofus of the group. And if there's 4 knights attacking and I cast it on one, it turns out he's the one that can't hit for crap and will get whacked down by his comrades almost immediately.
You have taken over an enemy torture chamber.
I'm digging over here toward the east because there's a gem seam and a treasury, so you can get quite a bit of gold. There's also one to the west, but
it is payday.
But the one to the west requires you to go through that place where the portal is, and so your imps will capture the portal, and then of course you'll start getting your evil creatures in, and your monks and whatnot will start getting angry. Nice little trap there. Your monks will start getting angry and desert you about the time the vampires come in, and you don't want that.
Your Thunderbolt spell has been upgraded. You have taken over an enemy treasury. A hidden realm has been made available. From deep within your workshop comes a device of awesome force, the freeze trap, which explodes and scatters shards of ice, immobilizing enemies at once. Your heal spell has been upgraded. A goblin has become unhappy because he is in the company of creatures he hates. Your turncoat spell has been upgraded. There is nothing left to research.
As I was saying earlier, your evil creatures don't get along with the converted heroes. So you have to be careful about that. And the goblins get angry before whatever it is that they don't like gets angry at them. So that's not too big of a problem.
A sentry trap has been created in your workshop. A goblin has become unhappy because he is in the company of creatures he hates.
Once again, I'm using a inordinate number of sentry traps just to help out my creatures. I think the official way you're supposed to do this level is that you take out all the heroes and you fight your way up here and capture and convert all the monks. Then you go up against Lord Malleus and the vampires. Keeper Malleus, rather. I have a little different way of doing it. What I prefer to do is to sneak up over here with my imps, and if you get close enough to Malleus's dungeon heart, he'll send his vampires after you. Well, if the hero patrols are still in place and the monks are still in the cathedral, then they'll blunt the vampire attack for you, and the vampires will take out most of the heroes, so then you've got a cakewalk.
A goblin has become unhappy because he is in the company of creatures he hates. Ah, I see you have discovered a magical item. Here's the realm of Malleus. Look alert. He sends his vampires out to crush you first. I hope you are prepared. A goblin has become unhappy because he is in the company of creatures he hates.
Okay, so the vampires come through here, and of course they're responding to a call to arms flag which has been planted down in my dungeon heart. So they ignore the monks here, so the monks get free shots at them as they go by. And unfortunately, the monks can't really take them out, but they can weaken them so that later, once they get down here with all my traps and everything, we should see them knocked down pretty quickly. Okay, as you see here, the vampires are finally making their way down to my defenses. I have, of course, many creatures and a few monks in there. If the monk is the one that makes the killing blow, then the vampire, explodes into a bunch of bats. If another creature makes the killing blow, then the vampire respawns back at its lair. Notice there's also some monks in amongst the attacking vampires. Those are the ones that Lord Malleus have captured and converted, I assume. I didn't put enough freeze traps or something, or I didn't wait until my giant had created enough sentry traps, so some of the vampires are getting through, but we're still taking them out.
A neutral creature sends word that he can't make it today. It is payday.
Okay, the vampire forces have been whittled down pretty far. Looks like the sentry traps alone are enough to keep them from attacking my dungeon heart. So now we have to get up here near the Lord Malleus' dungeon heart and make a sneak attack.
You have taken over an enemy bridge.
The Call to Arms flag is one of the more useful spells. Lets us lead our entire army of creatures here up to the dungeon heart. Taking out it looks like one of the last of the monks. He's easily taken out. And now we go after the dungeon heart itself.
You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber.
Once you start attacking the dungeon heart itself, Keeper Malleus suddenly comes up with a reserve of vampires that can attack you. Luckily, by the time they get to your defenses,
you have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber.
Again, they're weakened by the heroes, and if you ignore them and just go ahead and attack the dungeon heart, you can have the dungeon heart taken out before they can do any damage.
You have defeated an enemy keeper.
As I said before, this is one of my favorite levels, and I will replay it over and over again for no good reason other than just I enjoy playing it. Also, it's one of the levels that took me several attempts before I could beat it the first time. I just couldn't get, you have to have a special setup, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to defeat the vampire hordes, or you just have to let the heroes take the brunt of the attack.
Magic doors will defend themselves intelligently.
Incidentally, I don't think the magic doors are all that great. Well, we'll try them out next mission. In the meantime, this is Uncle Troy wishing you all a good night and signing off.